Welcome back to the channel, and I hope you're having a great day. Popular revolution. So the year is 2017. A reality TV star has just won the presidency. And Andrew Yang recognizes that we have to do something about the severe situation we're in. Over 4 million jobs have been automated away. Families are living paycheck to paycheck, one incident away from total financial ruin. And Andrew Yang goes to Washington, D.C., and he speaks to our government about the severity of the situation we're in. He asks them, what are they going to do about this problem? And some of the responses he receives is that we're not going to do anything. We're a den of followers. Some members of our government have recognized for years they've been able to do absolutely nothing, and there are no consequences. They don't lose their jobs. Things go on as they've always went on, and the American people continue to suffer. American people, some live in what they call tent cities across the country, homeless shelters, and it is just unbelievable that in one of the richest countries in the world, this is what goes on, and it definitely points to a severe fracture and problem in a system that many of us have been led to believe is a good system, but maybe not so good for many Americans. So this election that's produced people like Andrew Yang, as I've said in earlier videos, is one of the most phenomenal things I've seen. And it's moving on now through a series of planned universal basic income marches in local cities and communities. And this is the type of answer that the American people, I believe, are going to wake up to. And this is the catalyst to them taking control now and taking their government back. Because when Andrew Yang went to Washington, D.C. in 2017, and our government told him that they were a bunch of followers, nobody does anything in Washington, D.C., then that type of message lets the American people know that whereas we have tried to appoint leaders and look for them to lead us because we thought they could do better at it, or maybe we thought we lacked the power to make a difference, we're now understanding that it is us who has to do this, right? Andrew Yang walked away from Washington, D.C. in 2017, understanding that we're on our own. We're on our own. And these marches are going to be the catalyst to take our country back and make the necessary changes to make the government work for us and the people once and for all in this popular revolution. It is a revolution that is going to be supported by the masses of people. And that's what it's going to take for this to really work. We're going to have to actually march on Washington, D.C. and all across this country to show America that this is what we need to do, that we have to do this, right? It's no longer up to the Congress. It's no longer up to our government anymore. We've passed that point. Now we have to, through a movement, really make this happen, because the reality of the situation, and here's what I think we need to understand, we're definitely on the right track. And getting Andrew Yang into the White House is going to be one of the best first moves. But they're going to fight Andrew every step of the way, even after he becomes president. It's going to be necessary for us to take to the streets and protest and make them treat the American people how they should be treated. And that's going to be achieved through this popular revolution. And it's we're getting a resounding noise and effect from it. You know, I've always talked about how important it was for Andrew to have those celebrity endorsements. And recently, Whoopi Goldberg went full yang yang, and she's just, and that's what we need to see. We need to see people who rise up, really care about this country, and really take Andrew Yang, just really take the mantle and run with it. Because, you know, I think it's going to be necessary that we step away from thinking we can appoint people to lead us and thinking that it has to be somebody else's job. There's nobody else. You know, it's we are it. We're it. That's it. You know, there's nobody else but us. And we got to do it. And we got to do it along with Andrew Yang. You know, this isn't just his battle, right? It isn't just, you know, it doesn't end at voting for him at the booth, right? If we really want this and we really want to be responsible Americans and we really want to take our own individual responsibility for our roles and our place in this country, we got to go back to how things used to be in the olden days, where when something wasn't going right in your country, you actually did something about it, right? You didn't sit at your office cubicle. You didn't go, oh, well, this is too big for me to handle. No, everybody was out there. The milkman was out there. The whoever, whatever job you did, right? It was everybody's responsibility. And that's what we have to do now. Now, they're organizing these marches, and they're going to start to happen from city to city across the country. And I believe this is going to be the spark. And what I love to see is during this election, I'd love to see cities overrun with Yang Gang supporters and people who believe in these type ideas, making the government do something to the point where they almost become, the government itself almost becomes irrelevant, right? Because the people are out there saying, this is what we want and this is how it needs to be. Not what you want, not what you want as this big government. It's about what we want, right? And this is going to show them that we're not going to sit back anymore and let them not care what happens and they don't lose their job behind there's no consequences about it. And we continue to suffer and they continue to play their games in Washington, D.C. It's time for us to be the leaders now, right? It's time for us to unite it, use the power that we really have, right? It is government by the people, right? That means all the power really rests in us, right? It's not, you know, some bureaucrats up in Washington, D.C. But we have to understand just how powerful we are as a whole pushing this forward, right? To the point where every time you turn on a news station, we're loaded up in the city streets protesting for UBI. It becomes undeniable, you know, but we got to do something, right? We got to stop making this somebody else's responsibility. We got to be the change ourselves, right? Andrew Yang is the catalyst, you know, but Andrew Yang is not alone, and we got to make sure he's not alone. We all got to do our parts. We all got to be many Andrew Yangs, right? And this can happen. This could be a reality. This could be the change for America and be a model for the world, you know, after this. And we can make that happen. It really is that simple, and it really is up to us. You know, it is not like a lot of people think. Some people think the problem is so big that the machine in Washington, D.C. can't be stopped. I don't believe that, and I don't think that's the case. And a lot of people talk about how they can't do anything, but history has shown the people have changed governments and have toppled them if necessary, if it came down to it. So the idea of a popular revolution, right, of what the people want and what needs to happen, this is a very doable and likely thing that's going to happen, right? Once people have knowledge of things, they are off to the races then. As long as you kind of keep people in ignorance, they don't feel like they can do anything. They may not do anything. But once they realize they do have the power and it's in them, there's a whole different ball game then. Popular revolution. That's where we're headed, guys. Real quick, our project, BitcoinNYK.com, our own universal basic income project over the blockchain. Some people might say, well, hey, we got the Andrew Yang UBI coming when he wins president. And you are absolutely right. But in my book, there's never too many universal basic income projects. And don't forget our friends across the pond who are with us on this election, hoping we succeed. This hopefully will be a model to them as well. But they can participate in projects, and if you all help us to grow it, they will have some of the opportunities we will have when Andrew Yang becomes president of the United States. So you can join today absolutely free. That's all that is required. We'll leave a link in the description. And that's all I want to say in this video. If you like content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and until next time, take care.